Being unreasonable and thinking unreasonable set the stage. But to go from underdog to top dog, you have to make unreasonable decisions. You have to take unreasonable chances. How? By dedicating time and energy into consistently doing what needs to be done. Underdogs try to overcome, but trying doesn't cut it. To beat the odds, you can't try, you have to train. Trying is when I attempt to do something that I probably can't do. Training is when I do what I can do today so that I can do tomorrow what I couldn't do today. Let me repeat that. Training is when I do what I can do today so that I can do tomorrow what I couldn't do today. If you ask me to go to China and speak Mandarin to the Chinese people, I probably can't do it. I could get on an airplane tomorrow, fly there, and try my hardest, but I can't do it. Trying won't cut it. But what I could do is enter into a life of training. So what could I do today? I could buy and start listening to MP3s and audiobooks on how to speak Mandarin. I love the way Rudy Giuliani put this. Hope is not a strategy. You don't overcome and achieve greatness by hoping you will. You don't even do it by trying. You do it by training. I became an all-pro NFL receiver by training. I didn't hope I would. I didn't try. I trained for it. And I didn't just train. I trained in the unreasonable way. I took a different path to try to get there. One of the reasons I wasn't recruited by any of the big schools coming out of high school was the fact that I was supposedly too slow. So as you already know, when I was at Temple University, I asked the track coach if I could join the track team. I didn't want to be on the track team. Nobody does. I wanted to be in the NFL. But being on the track team was training for getting into the NFL. They let me on the track team because I could jump. And I usually just competed in jumping events. But in 1979, at the Penn Relays Carnival, one of the most prestigious track meets in the country, my coach turned to me and said, "Hey, we need your help. One of our guys is down. Can you fill in the 4x400 relay?" The mile relay, the infamous. It's a killer. I looked at him and, like a good student or a good player, I said, "Hey, I'm with you, coach, whatever you need." And then he turns to me and he goes, "And we're going to put you at the anchor." I looked at him like he was crazy. He said, "Hey, it'll be okay. We're going to get a big lead with our first 3 guys." He said, "You're going to be okay. You'll be all by yourself." I thought, well, that sounded like a plan. And then I looked over, and the press were over there, and they were snapping pictures nonstop of the anchor leg for the University of Maryland. It was Ronaldo Nehemiah, the reigning world champion and world record holder in the 110-meter high hurdles. One of the fastest human beings on the planet. Well, as expected, our guys got me a huge lead. When I took the baton, it seemed like I couldn't lose. And then I heard what nobody on the track wants to hear. The sound of the crowd cheering for a world champion who was about to run by a much slower guy. Yes, he did run by me. But I did catch him while he was putting his sweats on. It may seem like a negative, that I lost the race. But that training helped me to get to my goal. When I tried out for the Denver Broncos, I was a little bit faster. I was in great shape. And it was all because of running on the track team. That first year, I had a great year. It was fun. But I didn't get in the game very much. I wanted to be on the field. I wanted to get on the field, and I wanted to catch passes. I wanted to do all the fun stuff. I didn't want to go run down and cover punts and kickoffs. So I had to get on the field. So I went home after that season, and I asked my dad, my mentor. I said, "What do you suggest?" He said, and he gave me a very unreasonable path that I didn't really like. He said, "Go back to school, finish your degree, and run on the track team again since you have a year of eligibility left. You'll kill two birds with one stone." So I re-enrolled at Temple University. Took 16 credit hours. Signed up to live in the dormitory. You ask why? Because I'm an underdog. I was an underdog. And underdogs have to do what underdogs do, which is train, not try. So I joined the track team. It got me in better shape, made me a little bit faster. And my second year was even better. So in the second year, we're playing, and I'm not getting on the field again. I go, what's going on here? What do I have to do to get on the field? I just ran track. I'm fast. So I decided after the season was over, I would go to my position coach. And I said, "Coach Polesfoot, what do I have to do to get on the field as a wide receiver?" And right out of his mouth, I mean, he didn't miss a beat. He gave me another unreasonable method to success. He said, "Stevie, karate." I said, "Karate?" I said, "Where'd that come from?" He goes, "Stevie, karate, you're stiff. You got no flexibility." He says, "And it'll get you a little bit more flexible," and he said, "It'll help you against the elite corners of the NFL in bump and run coverage." He said, "Hey, take karate." So I took karate. Did I want to be a black belt? No. But karate was training for NFL games. It was something that I could do that others weren't doing. And that's what being unreasonable is. So I took karate and off to the races. So then I stepped back after he said that, and I said, well, look at myself. I look in the mirror. Where am I deficient? Where else can I improve? Well, I'm left-hand dominant. When I'm over on the right side and I'm trying to catch Elway's ball, it's a little bit tougher because my right hand isn't very strong. It's not very good. It's weak. Someone had mentioned to me that sleight of hand was a great way to develop dexterity and flexibility in your hands. So I started doing card and coin sleights, and it helped. I actually, if I had my video here today, I would show you I made a right-handed one-hand catch. So it works. But doing all these different things were necessary for me to figure out how to get into the lineup. How deep into this can you think? Card and coin sleights. And then I found this pamphlet. And it was a pamphlet that was given to me by Raymond Berry, Hall of Fame great. And he was a wide receiver too. Probably the same build, same everything of me. A burst of slow. It was ahead of its time. It was a pamphlet that described visualization. I think we've all heard visualization. He took the old game plans and in the off season, went out on the practice field and visualized the game plan, and then did the game plan all over again, taking it all the way down to the down and distance, being in the huddle, pretending there was somebody across the line of scrimmage from him. It was an unbelievable process that I adopted for the rest of my career. And I found it to be just incredible that I was able to play the game before I played the game. And I don't know how many of you have ever been in that particular position in business where you play it out. You're thinking to yourself, you can see the business deal going down. So you play it out, you anticipate. And that's what this allowed me to do. It allowed me to play the game before I played the game. I was able to, and this is one thing that it's a good takeaway for this particular exercise, is you never want to be surprised by what you see on the field. And I think we can all take that to heart in business too. You don't want to be surprised. You don't want those last-minute surprises. But that was my visualization effort. I did it every game. I would lay down on the locker room floor, throw a towel over my face, and I would play the game in my head. You know how you watch the downhill guys, you see them get into the gates like this? You see them making those movements? They're playing the game before they play the game. The last thing that I took into my repertoire, wide receivers are supposed to catch the football. That's what we do. So I thought, and there are never enough quarterbacks to get enough touches on the ball or catches. So I thought to myself, I reasoned that if I was never going to have enough quarterbacks to be able to reasonably catch enough passes, then I thought, I'll buy a quarterback myself. So I bought a quarterback. That may sound silly, but I bought a ball machine. It's called a jugs machine. It's like having a quarterback. You take it home with you. You can set it out in your yard, and it shoots the ball at you just like a pro quarterback throws the ball. I was able to have my wife shoot footballs at me, and she loved it. She waited till I wasn't looking. But it was another way to skin the cat. How can you get better? It gave me a chance to get 200, 300, 400 more touches on the ball when I went home and everybody else was doing other things, and they weren't getting the same work that I was getting. So I started to think, the one thing, and the one thing that we teach wide receivers, and you'll love this, is we teach them to catch with their eyes. Never take your eyes off the prize. That's what I always taught all the young wide receivers that I was coaching, because I had a chance to coach the Denver Bronco wide receivers for about 3 years. And I always taught them that, and they'd look at me like, Coach, come on, what do you say? Don't take your eyes off the prize. And the reason being, most wide receivers, if you watch in a game, you'll see that they miss the ball when it's 6 to 12 inches from their hands. Now, why would they miss the ball? Why would they not look? It's because they're distracted. You know what I always tell them? And this is why they're distracted. You have two choices. Catch it and get hit, or miss it and get hit. You pick. That's why there's such an emphasis on that last 1 foot, that last 6 inches. Don't take your eyes off the prize. It's like a business deal. How many times have you been in that deal and you're almost there? You're just about, and then you're distracted. And you don't finish the deal, and you're sitting there going, well, why did that happen? Don't take your eyes off the prize. The things that I've talked to you about are just the beginning of a journey of being unreasonable and taking unreasonable action. Taking unreasonable action is thinking outside the box. That's what we mean by unreasonable. Status quo is here. You can be with the status quo. You can just kind of follow right in it like a bunch of sheep, and you can be in that group. But if you want to be successful, if you want to set yourself apart, if you want to feel real good about what you're doing, you've got to think outside the box. Be unreasonable.